Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever get tired of the endless flow of nothing but positive news surrounding Ripple and the XRP ecosystem as a whole? Yeah, me neither. Okay, technically it's not all good news. You do have those articles from the Bitcoin maxi types. They have their own little crypto media outlets too. But so there's bad stuff. But do you ever get tired of the good stuff? No, of course not. And take a look at this one. This is from Daily Hodl. 38 of the world's largest 100 banks have tested, integrated, or invested in Ripple's remittance technology. And that comes from a brand spanking new report. Lots of stuff to talk about here. And another positive one I will be covering in this video. Also from Daily Hodl. Alipay partner Tranglo integrating Ripple's cross-border payments technology. But before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please ever so delicately tap that like button, but don't smash it, because only dorks smash the like button. It's completely unnecessary. It's a show of force and aggression that is just not called for, given the civil nature of the Moon Lambo channel. And also, you know what I want to say? I want to make a suggestion that you treat yourself, girl, by subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel. Like the Jelly of the Month Club, it's the gift that gives you all year round. All right, time to dive in here. At least 38 of the world's 100 biggest banks have reportedly tested, integrated, or invested in Ripple's cross-border payments technology. Now, let me ask you, do you think that just happens by pure luck? I don't. An overview of the top 100 banks by total assets compiled by XRP Arcade breaks down how many are linked to Ripple. The largest Ripple banking customer, Japan's Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, is the fifth largest bank in the world, with reportedly more than $2.8 trillion in total assets. Now, of the 38 banks linked to Ripple, 18 are actively using Ripple's technology. All of them are using the startup's payments messaging platform, which is designed to rival SWIFT. To date, none of them are using Ripple's liquidity product, which utilizes XRP for cross-border payments. And where do you think this is all going? If XRP can functionally be used to reduce costs of moving money around the world, converting currency from one fiat to another fiat currency, if that can be done as a matter-of-fact statement, and it's much faster than traditional means of settlement, what do you think is going to happen as new corridors open and regulatory uncertainty becomes more certain? I can tell you. Now look, don't call me Nostradamus once this comes to pass. I'm not Nostradamus, but I'll tell you what. I can tell you with a certain level of confidence, I'd say high level of certainty, that ultimately, as corridors are built out and as regulatory certainty gets to where it needs to be the world over, you're going to see a ton of banks ultimately use XRP as a bridge currency for settlement, which always excites your boy Moon Lambo, because frankly, I think many of us are here. I certainly am here because I see the potential for this technology. I see XRP as a financial investment that to me makes a lot of sense. And none of this is financial advice. I don't have a financial background, but seeing that XRP, the way everything is going, and you see that it's actually... it is the only cryptocurrency being used in the commercial production of everything. Given all of this, and that banks are embracing the first part of RippleNet, which is the messaging portion, what do you think is going to happen next? I'm telling you, it's if you want to know why banks the world over aren't using it today, look, all I have to say is this: just give it a matter of time, because you can see. I just reported very recently. There was a BitCub, that's the official, we just found out within the last, several days, a week, or whatever it's been. It's all blurring together at this point. But BitCub is Thailand's official Ripple-partnered cryptocurrency exchange, and so that's the liquidity pool, and you can have all sorts of corridors from there. And so it's all going to be this huge web ultimately, and everything's going to interact. And there are tens of thousands of corridors literally the world over, and we're talking about only having today 6 cryptocurrency exchanges as liquidity pools. So my point in saying that is, give this all time. And then the piece wraps up by stating, overall, Ripple says more than 300 financial financial institutions in 40-plus countries use its technology, including American Express, MoneyGram, Santander, and SBI Remit. And I pulled up this. This is for the fun. Here's an old thread on XRP chat, April 17th, 2018. And there's a little screen grab from Twitter on this particular XRP chat. And there's Navin Gupta, and I don't remember his title off the top of my head, but he's a Ripple employee. And he wrote this, and he said this at, what is this even? I forget now. Here you go. He was speaking at Seamless Middle East on cross-border payments alongside Rackbank. And so here's what Navin Gupta said. Great discussion. There are only two kinds of banks: who are already on Ripple and who are going to be on Ripple shortly. I'm sure many of you remember that rather bold tweet. I remember when that came out. It certainly made some headlines there. And so I thought just it popped in my head with this particular title again that 38 of the world's largest 100 banks have tested, integrated, or invested in Ripple's remittance technology. I thought I'd just go ahead and bring that up as well. Next, Alipay partner Tranglo integrating Ripple's cross-border payments technology. The Southeast Asian fintech company Tranglo is integrating Ripple's remittance technology. According to the company's project manager, words are hard for Moon Lambo, ST Lau, Tranglo began implementing RippleNet in November of last year. The Malaysia-based company says its cross-border remittance API powers payments in 18 countries, including China, India, Japan, Singapore, and the Philippines. Earlier this month, the company announced a partnership with China's Alipay, the world's largest mobile payment platform with 1.2 billion users. And here's a quote now. As part of the partnership, Tranglo will facilitate seamless cross-border remittances to users of Alipay, who will be able to receive quick and secure money transfers within the app. Tranglo expects the collaboration to especially benefit migrant workers around the world, particularly in Asia, where the cross-border payment hub has a foothold in the remittance market through local partners. Now, Tranglo has not revealed specifics on its implementation of RippleNet or whether it plans to use the digital asset XRP. But again, what did I start this video out by saying? One of the things, anyway, I said, if you can use XRP and it's cheaper and results in a better service for your customers, and if you're a remittance company or a bank, why would you not engage in that ultimately? And so I cited a couple of reasons, but once those are overcome, of course, sufficient corridors opened, liquidity pools, and regulatory concerns, well, there you go. It's certainly going to happen. And so it's not necessarily going to be the case that there's going to be this flip of the switch thing that many in the community have been envisioning. It's like you just flip the switch and now XRP is used the world over, and XRP price moons and then Lambo. It's not exactly how this is going to work. I'm sorry, this is a non-hype channel, so I'm going to shoot straight with you here. Corridors will be built out, and so what will happen then in terms of adoption? Well, individual remittance companies and banks operating those corridors, somebody's going to start, and then there'll be a second customer of Ripple's using it, and then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and it's going to go on like that. And then eventually, if you want to be able to compete in any single corridor where there are these liquidity hubs, where these cryptocurrency exchanges that act as liquidity pools, if you want to compete in those corridors where that exists, where the tracks have already been laid, you're going to have to use this, or your method of settlement is going to be too costly. So that's why, even though it's not a flip of the switch, you can see certain corridors, once those corridors are open, and I think that there will be some instances where in relatively short order you can see life completely change in specific corridors. But again, it's going to take a long time to have liquidity hubs the world over and get all of this implemented, and then, like I said, from a regulatory perspective. But it's all coming here. All right, next here. I came across this tweet here. The first one, it was from Ripple, just today, 9 hours ago. The official Ripple Twitter account here says, "Hello, Davos 2020. Members of Ripple's leadership team are at the World Economic Forum 2020 this week, meeting with global business and regulatory leaders." Now, I just put out a video, and if you haven't seen it, you do yourself a favor and check it out. Brad Garlinghouse tweeted something that Steve Mnuchin said, and it's about conceptually the government giving the green light to functionally what XRP is doing without saying XRP, and it's worth taking a look if you haven't caught that news yet. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. But all in all, endless good news it does seem, right? But I do need to make you aware, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a simple XRP bot. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!